The Torah instructed us in the book of Bamidbar, chapter 30, the law of making vows. The moment a woman turned to the domain of marriage, meaning she's part of a husband-wife relationship, therefore the husband has the access, the right to ratify or approve her commitments. There is a lot of application nowadays. One example I may share with you: when I serve a community in New Jersey, I have a congregant. The husband was MD PhD, and he was hardly home while his wife used to host endless people that came from different tzedakah organizations worldwide. And one time I asked him if it's okay by him, all those people who attend their home, and he gave me a face. So I said to her that day, I called her up and I have a long conversation with her. I said to her, you know that you feel that you're basically doing a mitzvah or mitzvot by helping those people, but if your husband, not just because he's the breadwinner, because even you are the one who brings the income, by halakha, he is the husband. By the Torah instructions, he is the one who basically in charge, and therefore if he is not consent to that, you may be not only not doing a mitzvah, you may be even in a violation of doing such a thing. So the Torah tells us here in the text that you have a commitment. For example, imagine nowadays someone who have a very serious cause come to her and said, this is what I need, and she commit herself to certain amount. For example, if it's a monetary commitment, the husband come in, he either can approve or revoke it. And the Torah said, I'm quoting from the text, Book of Numbers, chapter 30, beginning of verse 7, and if she shall be married to a man, and her vows were upon her, or her utterance of her lips, by which she had prohibited something upon herself, and her husband heard, and on the day of his hearing he was silent about it, which means he was acquiesced, then her vow shall stand, and her prohibition that she established upon herself shall be stand. But if on the day of her husband hearing he shall restrain her, and he shall revoke the vow that is upon her, or the utterance of a lip by which she had prohibited something upon herself, then God will forgive her. So here you see clearly the two options: either the husband who have hakamat haneder, which means approve the vow, or hafarat haneder, he can revoke her vow. And the Torah said beyom shom'o, that day. The Sifri said that gzeirat hakatuv, that's the derivative from the text, that this infrastructure of relationships has to be in a way that he heard at her commitment, at her present, the commitment. The question is, can the husband make those statements in advance? Imagine a situation when a husband feels that she can commit herself to all kind of things that he may disapprove, or he wanted to be the one who make decision, or he wanted to be the one who had the final words of approval. So he said, okay, I'm leaving the house today, it's Sunday, and I'll be back Friday. From now on, any manner of vow that you're going to make between today till Friday, it's all ratified, it's all revoked. Can he do such a thing? That's the discussion of the Mishnah we're about to study, Tractate Nedarim, page 75, 10 lines from the top of the page. Haomer liishto, husband said to his wife, Kol hanedarim shetidori mikan עד שאבוא ממקום פלוני, any manner of vow that you are making from now, for example, if today it's Sunday, until I return from my trip, for example, for several days by the end of the weeks, הרי הן קיימים, it's all taking effect. The problem, you remember we read the Torah said that he needs to be part of that, meaning he needs to hear those commitments, and it's basically an advance. It may be many, and he needs to make decision for each and every one of them. So therefore, he said, lo amar klum. Why? Because you cannot approve or disapprove a manner of vow if it was not yet pronounced. However, if he said, Harei hen mufarin, they are revoked, so Rabbi Eliezer amar mufar, Rabbi Eliezer said, whatever she is going to do during that period of time is revoked. Even you cannot approve neder that it was not take place yet by any manner of pronunciation, but you can do it. You can do hafara, you can do a revocation. V'chachamim omrim, the sages said, no mufar, it's not revoked, because the same ways you cannot mekayem, fulfill such a neder, you cannot mayfair, you cannot revoke neder. So the Rosh explains that this is under the concept of nidrei ta'ut, meaning a manner of nedarim that it's an erroneous framework. It can be in varied situation. For example, if she wants to get even with him, if she wants to do it to aggravate him, there's a lot of reason why these dynamics happen between them. So therefore, it's in that category of nidrei ta'ut. Amar Rabbi Eliezer responded and said, this is a kal vachomer. Im heifer nedarim shebau lichlal isur. If he can revoke a manner of vow that have already become prohibited, lo yafer nedarim shelo bau lichlal isur. Shall he not be also be able to revoke a manner of vow that is not yet become prohibited? Amru lo, the sages said, Arei hu omer, as we read, Isha yekimenu ve'isha yefeirenu. The Torah said in the book of Numbers, chapter 30, verse 14, the husband is the one who confirms her vow, and the husband is the one who revokes her vow. So because we have this smichut, this attachment of the text by the right of the father to approve the vow of his wife to the husband to his wife, or the right to revoke them. Et sheba lichlal haken ba lichlal hafer. A vow that is subject to confirming it is a subject to revoking. Shelo ba lichlal haken lo ba lichlal hafer. A vow that is not part of confirming is not part of nullification, and it cannot be nullified. So even the kal vachomer by its nature is correct, but because you have attachment between hafara to hakama, approval to nullification, the Torah teaches that we have to attach the two concepts to each other, meaning that the same ways you cannot fulfill a neder, a vow that was not pronounced yet, the same way you cannot revoke a neder that was not revoked yet. That's the way the Ran said, explained. So Rabbi Akiva Iger asked a question here. He said, how do we understand the view of Rabbi Eliezer? Because the Gemara said, Ibaileu le Rabbi Eliezer meichal chalin uvatlin, or dilma lo chalin klal. You mean to say that this vow is have an effect at the time that she made those vows, and then when he come in, the husband, and revoke them, it's totally nullified? Or you say that it's altogether it's not have any effect? So Rabbi Akiva asked, what do you mean by the view of Rabbi Eliezer? Neder is a matter of dibur, of expression. If someone express his vow, so he is fulfilled by expressions. But if you do not have the dibur, if you don't have the expressions, how it works? So as we said, since the Rosh tells us that this concept is under the umbrella of nidrei ta'ud, so it means that it's a mistaken, erroneous neder. So it can be that the husband said to his wife, any vow that you are about to do, it's retroactively nullified. Or the opposite way, any vow that you're going to make is approved. How this can take effect, especially when you're talking about a limitation of the wife. You circumscribe her, you limited her. So it's a discussion among the Rishonim, among the rabbis. But here, this predicament goes to say that since the previous manner of the revocation, it's not a reason for the Nedarim, for the vow not to be fulfilled. It's only taking effect after they have chalot Nedarim. After those matter of vow, it's already take effect. So since you express it earlier, it's already put the framework that those Nedarim cannot be fulfilled. And my nafkamina, what's the real difference between these two possibilities? 75, kigon de atpis acharina behadei nidra. For example, after a husband revoked her vow, she said, I become a Nazirite. Or, and then someone else said, and va'ani kamoa, and I'll be like her. That's the way the Ran said. So it means you have another person who associates his vow, his own vow, with the vow. I amart chalin, if you tell me that her vow is in effect, meaning for short time and then they're nullified, havya tfisuta. So you have here the tfisuta, which is the effectiveness, it take effect of the vow, and his neder is in effect, and since she made a vow, you have something to have at pasata neder, you have something to have the attachment to that vow. I amart lo chalin, if you tell me that her vow do not take effect, and then the vow of the other person, lo ika mashasha, you do not have a substance, because the vow in which associate was never existed. What's the law? Tashma amar Rabbi Eliezer, im efer nedarim sheba'u lichlal isur, if he revoke nedarim that become prohibited, lo yafer nedarim shelo ba'u lichlal isur, he will not nullify the vow that does not reach the status of a prohibition. Shma mina, you derive from that, lo chalin, that nedarim do not take effect at all, and basically they do not have any manner of prohibition, because it's not lo ba'u lichlal isur. And therefore it means to say, ad, adain lo ba'u. This still not become prohibited. But again, as we said, eventually it will. Tashma Amar Rabbi Eliezer said to the sages that the husband can do a revocation of his wife's neder. That was not yet expresses ומה במקום שאין מפר נדרי עצמו מי שנדר מפר נדרי עצמו עד שלא ידור. Even the situation that one can revoke his wife vow in advance, because where he cannot revoke her own nedarim after his own, מפר עצמו עד שלא ידור. He annul himself until before he vows. מקום שהוא מפר אשתו משנידון נדרין שיפר אשתו עד שלא נידון. How much so? The case that one's wife nedarim, where one can revoke his wife nedarim after she vows, how much so that he can revoke his wife future nedarim before she vows. That's like an advance directive for that matter of nedarim. That's the Ran tells us based on what we studied on page 23b, that someone said in advance statement, as we're doing before Rosh Hashanah and Tractate Nedarim, that any manner of Nedarim that I'll do in this year, in advance we announce that they have no effect. מקום שמפר נדרי אשתו משנדר נדר שנדבר אשתו שלא נידור, מה אליו? דאשתו דומיה דילי. Which means that you say that his wife Nedarim is similar to the prior revocation of his own. מה הוא דלא חיילין, אף אשתו נמי לא חיילין. Same way that he was not fulfilled because he abrogated it in advance. So the same applied to his wife's nedarim, that early annulment of the husband caused that this nedarim will not take any effect. Gemara rejected, they said lo ha kedeita veha kedeita. So this case in advance, it is as it is, and this case of advance revocation of one's wife vows is as it is. Rabbi Kiva Iger asked a question: how did you posek based on this malach of kal vachomer? Because how do you deal with the early revocation to a current revocation? So the truth is, based on this sugya, you have the book called Yam Shel Shlomo, who asks a question. We know in Yom Kippur there is a concept we learn in Tractate Yomah of Chatzi Shi'ur. If you eat in the size of half of like date, like olive oil, etc. So if you reach the Chatzi Shi'ur, then it's not like full Shi'ur. And there is a description in Gemarrah how far and how much is the Shi'ur. So what do you do if you have half and a half? If someone take half Shi'ur by the doctor's and by the physician's instructions, and another half he did by himself, is that compared to the regular situation or not? Because a person not punished by the Torah law for the Chetzi Shi'ur. Because the Torah said in Yom Kippur, v'initem et nafshotechem, you should cause affliction upon your hearts. So therefore, the manner of inui, meaning to feel the fast, to feel the suffering, it's not so much there. Why? Because the Gemara explained it's called ituvei da'atei, that he basically stopped his starvation, stopped his thirst, and he comes down. So therefore, ituvei da'atei, the big question Yam Shlomo posted in the place that someone add Chetzi Shi'ur to the Chetzi Shi'ur he gets from the physician. So therefore, it's a possibility that he will be in violation of v'initem et nafshotechem, that's a clear prohibition by the Torah.
ויחם לשולוים מלאכי השולוים מלאכי